Okay, this video will show you how to adjust a tilt clutch on a PTZx SD camera system. I followed step 1 and step 2 in other videos to remove the tilt motor, and now what we have left is a motor with the mounting bracket and the clutch assembly on the end of the motor shaft. A couple things I want to note here: there are several holes around this brass nut that are threaded for a set screw. We're using one of them with a set screw that needs a 1.5 millimeter hex key. We also have a 8 millimeter open end wrench and a marker to mark where we are in the setting. So the other thing I want you to notice is that inside the clutch here, you can see a key that holds it to the motor shaft, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit there and rotate it a little bit for you. But you'll see the flat on the motor shaft, and you'll notice that the hex key is exactly tightened on top of that flat, and that's where we always want to be with the hex key. You can see the hex key in the screw and lined up with the shaft on the inside there. The next step, or the first step we want to do here, is mark where the clutch is currently set, what hole that hex screw is in. So I'm going to just put some dots here so I know where I started. What we want to do is move this brass nut tighten it enough to move to the next hole that lines up with the flat on the shaft. So I'm going to put it in a little vise here to hold and work so I can show you a little better. And zoom in here a little bit. You can see that flat in there on the motor shaft. So the first thing we want to do is loosen and remove this set screw. It's a 1.5 millimeter hex. And then we're going to take the 8 millimeter open end wrench and turn the nut. It's going to have a little bit of play in there because the set screw's out and there's play in the gearbox. And turn that about 1/8 of a turn until the next. So you see the hole with the black dots right there? That's the hole I was in. Now the next hole is over top of the flat of the motor inside. See that there? So let me just tilt that down a little bit there so you can see where I'm at here. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on my screw, and I'm going to put it into the next available hole over top of the motor flat, the one I just pointed out. And tighten that down. Till it's seated. Okay. So what you've done here is tighten this top nut, which squeezes the pinion gear in a clutch arrangement. There's springs down below that you can't see, and that allows this gear to slip less when it's driving the tilt mechanism. So at this point, you can put the motor back into the unit following the video in number 5, starting at 4 minutes, and test the unit to see how tight the clutch is. And if it still slips a little bit, you need to repeat this procedure. Move the screw to the next hole after tightening the nut 1/8 of a turn. One final note on this is when you're turning this nut, sometimes the motor shaft spins, and you can hear it spinning there, right? If your set screw isn't lined up where you can access it on this one side, you can slowly turn the motor shaft so the set screw is facing the direction you want. I usually go a little bit to the left here just so I have access to this hole and the next hole, which where I want to go if I want to tighten it.